Welcome. So continue with the study of the rules of differentiation. We'll see two new rules in this video. So imagine that you want to find the derivative of the product of two functions, or you want to find the derivative of the quotient of two functions. So there are two rules that help us to find that. And the first rule, the derivative of the product, it says if you want to find the derivative of two functions, let us say f of x and g of x, the procedure is derivative of the first function into the second function plus the first function into derivative of the second function. So we differentiate each function at a part. So let us see one example that will make it clear for us. Imagine that you have f of x is equal to 2 minus 3x into 5 plus 8x. So these are two functions actually. This is a function 1 and this is a function 2. So the rule says that what we have to do first is differentiate this function and then multiply it by this function, and then add this function multiplied by the derivative of this second function. So let us see how we do it. dy by dx is equal to f dash of x is equal to derivative of this first function. Derivative of 2 is 0 because 2 is a constant, and then we have derivative of minus 3x. This is equal to minus 3 because we said in the previous video that this x is raised to 1 and then it becomes 0 the power of x and then it becomes all 1. Any number raised by 0 is 1. So we have minus 3 into 1. So this is minus 3 into the second function without any modification to the second function, plus the first function 2 minus 3x without any modification multiplied by the derivative of the second function, which is this function. So again we have 5. 5 is a constant and the derivative of a constant is 0. And so in this place we are going to have 8. So this becomes 8 for the same reason that here we have minus 3. So we can just put in this side, multiplying by 5, we have minus 15 minus 24x plus this 8 multiplies here, we have 16 minus 24x. So we have 16 minus 15, this gives us 1, and we have minus 24 minus 24, this gives us minus 48x. And it's done. We have found the derivative of these functions. This plus is of the formula. So now the second case, we have the derivative of a quotient. So the rule says that if you want to find the derivative of quotient of a function, which means is a function divided by the other function, and you want to find the derivative of it, what we do is derivative of the first function into the second function minus the first function into derivative of the second function. Basically in the numerator part is the same thing as we used in the product rule, but now the sign changes for minus, divided by the denominator raised to 2. Well, the power of the denominator will increase as long as we keep moving and depending on the power of this function itself before the differentiation. So it's not fixed that it will be raised to 2 depending on this function. If the function, for example, was a function that this g of x was a function that in the beginning it was raised to a power 2, what we have is just this differentiation will have power 4. So let us see this example. Derivative of a function f of x is equal to x plus 1 x minus 3. So numerator, denominator. So what we do according to the rule is f dash of x is equal to derivative of the first one, which is x plus 1. Its derivative is 1. Derivative of x is 1. Derivative of 1 is 0. Into x minus 3, which is the second function without any modification, minus the first function without any modification, multiplied by the second function now differentiated, which means we have to differentiate this denominator, and derivative of x is 1 and derivative of minus 3 is 0, so this is multiplied by 1, and all this we divide by the second equation or function x minus 3 raised to the power 2. So what we have is x minus 3 minus x plus 1. This and this will subtract and then we have x minus 3 square. And as a result, what we have is minus 3 plus 1 divided by x minus 3 square, and we have minus 2 divided by x minus 3 square, and it's done.